in today's video, we are going to have over 1 million of every Star Wars army fighting against each other. In this corner, we have the Stormtrooper army being led by Darth Vader over here, along with AT-AT tanks. They've got Mud Troopers from Mimban and Army Troopers over here. Then we have the Republic over this way with 501st Clone Troopers, Jedi Knights, 501st Snipers, along with 501st Heavy Troopers over this way, and AT-TE tanks. Over this way, we have the Battle Droid Army. They've got Super Battle Droids, Standard B1 Battle Droids. They've also got BX Commando Droids over yonder with AAT tanks, and they are being led by the one, the only, oh my goodness, lag, General Grievous. Yay! And finally, the Rebel Troopers, who sadly have the least number of units in the game. So we have Rebel Fleet Troopers, Yoda leading them, and then they stole AT-STs from the Empire in order to give them, you know, a vehicle on the battlefield. So guys, there's over 1 million of each army. I tried to balance them as best I could, but there can only be one victor, and the terrain of the battlefield can help or hinder extremely. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. Alright boys, let's get it. Now, a lot of these different armies have different strengths and weaknesses, so it's a tough battle to go ahead and balance. However, I think I did a pretty decent job. The droids over here, surprisingly, are some of the strongest units on the battlefield, so they got less troopers than everyone else. That's particularly because of the commandos and the B2s, which are just very, very powerful. The clones, strangely enough, are some of the worst units. I mean, they're good against, say, historical units and animal units and stuff like that, because they are a space nation. They're pretty good against most things, but when it comes to their peers, like droids and stormtroopers and stuff like that, they are significantly worse. Ooh, that's some lag right there. Oh geez. Oh golly. Okay, we're good. Little lag spike. So I'm hoping the clones can do a little something here, but we'll just have to see. It looks like these sniper clone troopers are just arcing crazy fire out at these stormtroopers, and that hail of bullets is going to strike at some point. It's just very, very far. Hold on, let's go into normal speed. And are they even hitting, or are they? I think they might be too far away that the bullets are actually just phasing out. Yeah, I think the bullets aren't even hitting. They're just too far away right now. So that's not exactly working at the moment, but maybe now. Oh, look at that line fire. That's beautiful. All right, now that the stormtroopers are getting closer, those bullets might actually strike, and the stormtroopers over here are firing as well. Now, the Rebel Army is also extremely powerful in the UEBS 2 Star Wars universe. I don't know why, but the Rebels are just kind of goated. They don't have a lot of units in the universe, but the ones that they do are just very, very powerful. So I have a feeling those guys will be pretty tough to deal with. We've also got the AT-AT walkers out here. I'm wondering how these guys are going to do. They're sort of moving around a little bit, but there's a lot of infantry underfoot that's probably going to slow them down. They might not be super effective. The problem is they're taking a ton of damage right now because all of the strays that the rebels are firing are hitting these things from a very far distance away, which will probably whittle down their damage, and that one just died. Oh, so did that one. These things have, by the way, 1 million health, and they're just dying. Wow. Okay, so the rebels clearly are doing a ton of damage to the Imperial vehicles right there. Here's some Mud Troopers over this way getting involved in the combat right now. The Imps, I'm not totally sure how good they're going to end up being. I just know Rebels are very good and Droids are very good. And that's why I put both of them on this side of the pyramid, so they would have to fight each other in some of the toughest terrain over this way. Just to even things out a little bit, they got probably the worst spawns, I would think. But right now, they are going at each other's throats right here. We've got the commando droids out on the battlefield over this way, going up against rebel fleet troopers over this way, and they're going to be just destroying each other with constant blaster fire. And then over here, it looks like the stormtroopers are full on firing now, firing for effect. Look at all that fire going into these Jedi. Oh my goodness. Now the Jedi are the only melee units on the battlefield. However, they're pretty tough. They can swing and get multiple kills all at once. They've got really good reflect ability with their lightsabers, so actually a lot of these stormtroopers that are dying due to shots getting reflected back at them from the Jedi Knights. This looks crazy. This looks absolutely crazy. Oh my god, that is some brutality right there. And of course we do have the Republic sort of backing them up with some fire in the background, although a lot of these clone troopers are dying right now, just getting nailed by strays and stuff like that. That's the problem with these battles, is that the stray bullets do just as much damage as the accurate aimed bullets. It's just hard to be in this type of a fight. Got tons of clone troopers over here still firing in at the battle droid army, who is spamming fire out. These are some of the weaker battle droid units. The standard B1s aren't anything super special, so they are closer to the clones, but the stronger ones, the B2s and the BX commandos and the AATs, are over by the rebel fleet troopers. So it really will be rebel fleet troopers versus the strongest droids over that way, which will make them quite a challenge for each other. And then the weaker units are all fighting each other over here. That was another way of balancing this thing out a little bit. Of course, there are some stray B2s and BXs in this group over here too, but it's nothing too crazy. We've got Jedi all the way out here as well, picking off droids little bit by little bit. Again, deflecting some fire back into them, which can be very effective, and just giving these clone snipers opportunity to arc fire into the B1 droids over in the distance. So it's pretty nice right there. We've still got ATTEs over here as well, which looks like they are firing away. Not sure how effective these guys are going to be. They're at quite the distance, but let's see if we can see some of these explosives hitting. Yeah, you can see the explosive pot marks kind of going off in various directions and stuff like that. So that is being decently effective, I will say. That is not too shabby. Now, pretty much all the units are equal except for Team 3. And I'm pretty sure that Team 3 is the Stormtrooper army. I'm pretty sure Team 1 is the battle droids, who actually are doing pretty well right now, which we expected. Team 2 is the Republic, and pretty much all of these teams have 1 million soldiers remaining, except for the Stormtroopers, who I believe are Team 3, who only have 200,000 troopers remaining. So yeah, the Stormtroopers at the moment doing the worst out of the 4 different nations at the moment. I kind of thought it might have been the Republic who would end up doing the worst at the start. And while their 501st troopers are going down like crazy right now, I think that the Jedi are just absorbing a lot of the damage and keeping the weaker 501st units still alive. So I think that's kind of helping their cause right there. And then, of course, we've got the AT-ATs over here, which are probably all dead, as well as Darth Vader. I'm not entirely sure. The hero units are kind of fun to see at the start, but it's such a crowded battlefield. I'm not sure we'll ever see any of them ever again. Like, General Grievous is probably in a body pile somewhere. Darth Vader is probably in a body pile somewhere. And Yoda is probably in a body pile somewhere. I'm not entirely sure they even made it to the front lines, and they're probably just mixed up in a ton of troops. So rip, potato chip to those guys, but it is what it is. Yeah, alright, so the Rebels have eliminated their Mud Trooper, Army Troopers, and Stormtroopers, and AT-ATs over this way. And the 501st are dealing with the rest of their Stormtroopers over this way. The Rebel Troopers will likely come and cut through and hit the rest of the Stormtroopers over here too. And so the Stormtroopers will likely go down. They only have 100,000 soldiers left, and they have done very, very poorly during this battle. Droids right now have about 900k soldiers left. The clones have about 800k, and it looks like the Rebel Fleet Troopers have about 950,000, and that's probably because they started right next to the Stormtroopers over here, and they said the majority of their force over this way. They're strong units. They met very little resistance over here because the Stormtroopers are kind of on the weaker end, and so that's probably why they have so many troopers remaining. And the same can be said for the Republic, because they also primarily only fought the Stormtroopers over that way. So pretty interesting stuff. Over on the right here, we've got the Rebel Fleet Troopers. On the left, we've got the battle droids, the BXs, the B2s, and probably all the AATs as well as the ATSTs are dead by now, I'm guessing. Yeah, they're dead way back here. Probably got sniped out. Hopefully they got a few shots off, and then the ATSTs, I don't even see them. I'm guessing they're dead. Oh, no, those are rocks. Maybe they disappear when they're shot, but I don't see any ATSTs on the battlefield. Are the ATTEs still alive? That is a good question, because that would help out the 501st quite considerably. Let's see. All right, ATTEs are still kicking. Very nice. All right, look at these bad Larrys. A few of them are exploding and dead over this way, but a solid number of them are still alive and still firing at some of these droids over this way, which is pretty nice. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right. Well, things are still relatively even though the droids and the clones are having less soldiers than the rebels. I will say it's not by too much of a margin. It's not unwinnable or anything like that. And the real thing is that the rebels over here have basically no resistance, so they're not losing any troopers over here. The only area they're losing troopers is over this way, and so that's probably why they're doing much better at this point. Let's do a small time lapse over here of the rebels on the right side and the droids on the left side. Whew, crazy battle so far. Alright boys, well, after a brief time lapse right there, the Rebel Fleet Troopers are at about 700k. The droids are at about 600k, and the clones are at about 500k. So there are kind of tiers to this thing at this point. These guys just crawl in the water. Did anyone drown? Nah, no one drowned. Okay, that's fair enough. I kind of want to flood the Nile. That would be really fun, but it would really only hurt the droids, and I feel like that's kind of unfair. So I won't do that. I really want to, but I'm not going to. We got BX Commandos over here going absolutely nuts. It looks like they're taking down actually a good solid chunk of the Rebel Fleet Troopers over here. I don't understand why the Rebel Fleet Troopers are so good. They have 1,200 health. BX Commandos have 5,600, and the B2s are even better than that. So I don't understand exactly why the Rebel Fleet Troopers are so good. Maybe they do extra damage or something. I didn't create the mod, so I don't really get to... Oh, there's downed ATSTs right there. Cool, so they did get to the front lines. Oh, these are BXs. Yeah, I didn't create these mods or anything like that because, you know, the Rebel Fleet Troopers only have 1,200 health. So I didn't do any of the balancing for this. I just try and balance the teams based on their strengths and weaknesses. I mean, they do 100 damage. Maybe they're just super accurate. Maybe, or they have good fire rate. I mean, the fire rate didn't seem that good when I was firing right there. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure why the Rebel Fleet Troopers are so good on the battlefield, but it really could be their starting position. But they're good in other battles too. So there is that. But yeah, their starting position was turned out to be very solid. Hey, there are still more ATSTs alive over this way. Nice. And I think they're clearing out the last of the Stormtroopers because there's only 2 Stormtroopers left alive. There's a ton of Jedi charging the Rebel Fleet Troopers over this way. Kind of weird because they're kind of on the same side, but these Jedi are from years before the rebellion. These are Jedi Knights who just get slaughtered in Geonosis a few years later. So, you know, it's fine. It's fine. So these guys are coming out, and it looks like they are getting some good kills on the Rebel Fleet Troopers, whether by deflecting or shooting. And then actually the 501st over here, it looks like they're getting a bit of a breather right now. They're moving in with their heavy troopers, but they're getting a smidge of a breather because they did defeat these stormtroopers over this way, and the rebels got a breather a few seconds ago, so now they're having to go in after their breather, and they've still got a large pot right here, and the droids, what happened up here? So the clone trooper ATTEs must have been defeated because I am seeing only B2s and B1s, and yeah, there's dead ATTEs over this way. So it looks like these clones got defeated by the droids. The droids are now going to move south towards the pyramids to help out their BX Commandos who are fighting the Rebel Fleet Troopers over here. And actually, it looks like the droids evened it out. They were losing by about 100k to the Rebel Fleet Troopers, but they've evened it out now. The Rebel Fleet Troopers have 523,000 troops. The droids have 546,000 troops, so a little bit of a switcheroo in the middle of the battle here. I thought the Rebel Fleet Troopers were going to win this thing. Now they're actually losing, and the clones have 463,000 troops. So the clones aren't trailing by too much. but it seems like they did just lose to the droids, so I don't think they'll fare much better to the Rebel Fleet Troopers, but their Jedi are still going in. They're still making attempts, so that's good. I don't know, man. This is going crazy. All I know is the Stormtroopers definitely lost because they have actually 0 now. No one's glitched or anything like that. They're all just dead. So the only thing we can say for certain is the Stormtroopers will not win. I still think all 3 other nations have the possibility to maybe win this thing. Although I will say, I think for the Republic, they have the worst odds. And the droids and Rebel Fleet Troopers are somewhat even though the droids did get the switcheroo right there. The Rebel Fleet Troopers are still doing very, very solid. It is tough, man. All right, the Rebel Fleet Troopers over here are on the right. Droids are on the left. Let's watch some time lapse over here. Alright, big updates here. The clone troopers are getting clobbered. They only have 102,000 troops left. That is not enough. That is really, really bad. The Rebel Fleet Troopers seem to have encircled them and are just slaughtering them, I guess. It's really not going super well for my boys here, my boys in blue. It seems like if you were rooting for the 501st, you should be worried. That's what it seems like right now. It appears as though they are not going to be taking home the W. It is what it is. There has to be a winner, and there has to be 3 losers. It is what it is. The Rebel Fleet Troopers are, yeah, just killing them, crushing them. No bueno. The Rebel Fleet Troopers have also sent troopers down this way. And I think the Rebel Fleet Troopers right now are actually losing to the droids simply due to the fact that they have to take on the clones and the droids. The droids took on a lot at the very beginning, and the Rebel Fleet Troopers took on very little at the beginning. That has now swapped, where the Rebel Fleet Troopers are now taking on 3 different fronts because they've got the Droid BX front over here, the B2 and B1 front over here, and the Clone Trooper front over here. Meanwhile, the droids just have to deal with Rebel Fleet Troopers. So, clearly, whoever is getting double teamed ends up doing the worst. And that might be why we're seeing that flipperoo in who might win this battle. Because right now, the droids have 450,000 troops, the Rebels have 240,000, and the Rebels are dying quickly because they're fighting on so many different frontiers, and it might just be too late for them at this point due to all of these frontiers that they're fighting on. Of course, the clones over here only have 25,000 troops left, so they're dying out really, really quickly. There's a little bit of resistance from them, but hopefully as the resistance from them slows down, the Rebel Fleet Troopers stop taking as many losses and can focus once more on the droids over here. And it looks like they are clearing out most of the B2s and stuff like that over here, but more reinforcements are coming in, keeping these guys sort of in place over here and not being able to go assist their other boys over this way who are now getting kind of gutted. Very, very tough battle. Let's just witness, again, Rebel Fleet Troopers on the right, droids on the left. It's looking like it will be a droid W. Alright, somehow the clones are still hanging on to this thing. They've got 3,500 troops left. They're all over here. They have done a bang-up job distracting like half of the Rebel forces. Oh yeah, look at all these Jedi over here. Oh my goodness, what are you guys doing? They're chasing a few Rebels. Wow. So yeah, these guys have single-handedly ruined the Rebel assault because half of the Rebel force had to go up here to deal with them, and then the rest got whacked by droids down here. We're down to 86,000 Rebels who are all up this way, and we have 3,300 Jedi. I don't think there are any clones left alive, actually, and 370,000 droids. The droids, they were losing, and then all of a sudden it was easy peasy for the droids because of the clones. Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. All right, well, let's just do a broad overview and just like let it ride, and eventually we'll see the cataclysmic ending here. Well, boys, 46,000 Rebel troopers remaining, 356,000 droids remaining. So the last remaining Rebel troopers are actually doing a pretty good job of getting some kills. It's probably because a lot of these droid troopers are sort of trickling in here, which is good to see. It is very cool to see sort of like the Goliath tanks dead on the battlefield from oh so long ago. I'm surprised these things got cooked so quickly. They have 1,000,000 health apiece. I don't know. All right. This thing is obviously going to go the droid's way, so let's finish her up. All right, boys, the droids have done it. They've got 350k left alive, and there's apparently 151 rebels somewhere, but they're not dying, and there's 337 clones somewhere, or Jedi. They're not dying. I saw a little bit of shooting over here, so like, oh, they're like, there's actually clones over here. They're just stuck outside the barrier. Huh, interesting. But the droids still get the W. This battlefield was all over the place. There are bodies every 5 feet in this thing. Huge massacres. Absolutely deadly. Pretty impressive. The stormtroopers from very, very long time ago. Jedi over here too. Oh my goodness. Oh, and some rebel troopers. Are there any droids? Could we have all 4 over here? The droids might not have fought over here. I don't know. Oh my god. Either way, guys, that is going to be about it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.